Hi, my friends. Welcome to Sort of Brilliant, a show where the characters are made up and the sorting absolutely does matter. My name is Rachel.
And I'm her best friend and co-host, Lauren. Every other week, we're going to invade a fandom and determine whether your favorite character belongs in Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin.
We're the Harry Potter podcast that talks way more about any other franchise.
Here, we use the sorting structure from Harry Potter as a common language without supporting the author or her beliefs. As for the sorting itself, there's bound to be some arguments along the way.
But in the end, we're always right.
According to us.
According to us. That's R2-D2.
No, that was going down to the planet, remember? At the end of the scroll.
Yeah, but I did.
Oh. That's when he screamed. Not in these movies. He never screams. He's too mature for that now.
I guess so. I guess he's grown up.
R2-D2's the best character. I feel like I've said that every single time. Yeah, because Rachel refuses.
Episode today.
Refuses because she wants to
run out of content first.
Throw C-3PO into a trash can.
Yo, you guys don't want to hear that one because it's just going to be really bad on C-3PO.
I don't know anybody but George who would be upset that we're ragging on C-3PO.
I think there are people that like him.
I guess
it's weird.
I don't hate him the way that you do. But
oh, strange. Very strange. I wish I could kill that robot with my bare hands. I wish I could disassemble him.
You could. When we were watching the movie, she said, worst thing Anakin has ever done, including the child murder.
Yeah, he's horrible. I really like BB-8. And he's cute and funny.
We sorted him. I hadn't actually sorted him before we rewatched these again. I think I told Rachel this, and I told Hannah this right before we started recording because it was part of my test, my audio test. But I love the first. So we're talking about the new trilogy, the ones that just came out recently, that everybody hates online. And I really, really, really like The Force Awakens. I saw it about 3 times in theaters. It was good. Really enjoyed it. The other 2 movies, I've fought so hard to defend in my brain just because everybody is so awful about them on the internet. And usually the way that they're awful about them is in the sexist, racist sense of the word, but also in the the writers didn't know what they were doing. I'm like, no, guys, come on. They had a plan. But I only saw those last 2 movies in theaters. Saw them in theater, never watched them again. So this was my first time rewatching them. I mean, why would I have, Rachel?
Weirdly, it's not my first time rewatching
Really?
them.
It's my first time rewatching them. So watching them all together too. And first one holds up, is amazing. I love it. We were watching the third last night. I was like, Rachel, I really hope nobody on this podcast expects me to explain the plot of this movie.
They don't. They know better.
I don't have any idea what's going on.
I'm actually pretty much the same. I still think Force Awakens is a really good movie and had a really solid setup for something good. And Harrison Ford got to kill himself like he wanted to. Everyone got what they wanted out of that one. And I walked out of the following 2 in the theater, willing myself to like them. I was like, no, they were good. And then you go online and everyone's being a dick. And so I spitefully was like, no, they were good because And then when I rewatched them, probably last year, George forced me to, I was like, you know what? I need to just be honest with myself here. Mm-hmm. This is not. I just didn't like them. I just didn't enjoy them.
The characters are fantastic.
Now, here's the thing. Yeah, the actors do a fantastic job with what they're given.
Rachel and I were talking about this because we, Rachel's been very vocal about her dislike of superhero and Star Wars, but then we're constantly talking about Star Wars as something we enjoy, including Rachel. So we were talking about this last night as well. It's crazy that the original trilogy, you don't touch that. It's good, right? You just accept that it's good. And just these new 3 movies, the prequels are widely considered to be awful movies. But Rachel and I have come to this natural conclusion that we love the prequels, but it's really not it's Anakin and Obi-Wan is really what it is.
Yeah, but the story also makes sense.
But that's what we were talking about last night. That the story is bad and dumb and juvenile, but it makes sense, and it's got all of like the like high school drama, I guess is what you would call it.
Yeah.
And like along with the characters, that makes them really good. These new 3 movies were just like, what?
Yeah.
What is going on? We decided that the movies have like Rey is Obi-Wan Kenobi's daughter. Those movies are gaslighting us. Yeah. I don't know what you want from me, but she's not fucking Palpatine's granddaughter.
I really can't get off the like Oscar Isaac having to deliver the somehow Palpatine returned line, and you want me to think that was good? Like,
and then he's back and he's explaining, and he's like, "I came back to life so you can kill me." Why?
Yeah. And he explained it to us too. Like he gave us every little detail. And I kept saying to Lauren last night, I was like, wow, these people like really just must have failed creative writing 101, because the first rule you learn, first of all, like as a sophomore in English in high school, is show, don't tell. And they just do it in reverse. They're like, we're going to tell you everything and show you nothing. I'm just telling you what's happening.
Guys,
and
no, Kylo and Rey
Ooh.
have a special connection. They really do. We're not going to explain why or how, because we don't need to. There's no point.
So what bugs me is all the potential that was in these movies, that Kylo and Rey could have had an amazing, like, enemies to lovers whole story. It would have been, the bones were there. Like, it was there for you to tell. It just did it terribly. Poe and Finn should have been a thing. Keeping them apart was, like, such an obvious... It was so bad. Like, The Last Jedi is my least favorite one. It's pretty much because of that. Like,
the second one is when they're, like, keeping them apart, like, really obviously.
Yeah, like, it was ridiculous. Then they gave them back in the third one because they were like, damn, we pissed everybody off. Yeah, you did. You really did. That was stupid. And then, of course, I think the problem everyone can agree with is that the original trio should have been together more, or at least once. Like, what's going on?
We literally, we were watching that third movie last night. I was not paying attention. I was like, I'm here to hear Obi-Wan Kenobi speak at the very end of the movie. And that was actually, I didn't tell Rachel this. So when I saw this movie in theaters, I actually missed that part because I had to go to the bathroom. And then I didn't rewatch it. I learned through the internet that like all of the Jedi spoke to her. And so then I like watched it on YouTube. So I hadn't actually seen it in the context of the movie. And I like didn't really remember what they all said to her. And now that Rachel and I have sorted Anakin and like Kenobi and talked about them more, we're fucking cracking up.
They're the best.
Obi-Wan's like, get up, get your ass up. And Anakin's like, bring belts back like I did.
Right. Don't you know what I accomplished when I was in charge? And Obi-Wan's just beating the shit out of him up there. It's so funny. They are definitely my two favorite Star Wars characters.
I'm
like
watching
to come out
Clone
of
Wars.
any of this franchise. Mm-hmm. Like, I know, right? I might actually watch Clone Wars. Like, really?
To. Yep.
If they keep it within character.
Especially because Ahsoka's coming out and she's
Yeah.
she's Anakin's Padawan, so she's a big part of Clone Wars too. I want to see it.
And I think Obi-Wan has a love interest in that.
He does. Her name is Sabine. I'm pretty sure.
Right. Close to Satine, which is Moulin Rouge, another Ewan McGregor fucking masterpiece. But yeah, they're the best two out of everything. And like, it's purely for the memeage. Like, they're so funny. They're ridiculous people. But I will say that the best part of the Star Wars, what are they called? Sequels that we're doing today.
Oh, they are sequels. Thank you for thinking of that word.
It was hard because I want to say prequels.
I know.
The best part of the sequels is the characters, like as individual characters and just what we get to see of them, what the actors did with them. The new trio is great. I have no complaints about them. And I'm like the only person in the world who finds Kylo Ren hilarious but doesn't want to bang him. Like, I see so many thirst fan cams for Kylo, and I'm like, oh, they like he's the bad boy, I can fix him thing. Like, no, I don't want to fix him. He's hilarious. Stay evil with your temper tantrums. You're so funny. But I'm not rooting for him. Like, I'm just rooting for him to continue showing me more of his horrible personality. It's my favorite thing about all three of these movies is just watching him have his tantrums. I love it. So I like all of them. And like, as people, as characters, so even if I have beef with the movies, I can appreciate the characters, which is great for our podcast, because I don't know if you know what we do, but what we do is we talk about the characters. So it's good. I have lots to say. I don't know. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Rey, Finn, Poe, and Kylo. sorry to our editor, Hannah. She has to listen to us talk about Kylo as she edits this. I know she's going to want to like skip through that.
I told her I would mitigate
we put her through the Anakin shit before too. She was like,
I think she thought that was funny though. Like I think she enjoyed that.
Kylo coverage will be funny.
Well,
he's funny.
I really actually genuinely love Anakin. I don't have any love for Kylo. I do think he is funny though, like Rachel, but Rachel actually like finds him enjoyable.
I really do.
As you heard her earlier, she was like, the bones for Rey and Kylo were there. I don't think so, but anyway.
Come on.
No, man. I can't even see, like, they didn't even do a good enough job for me to see bones. Like, they really needed to give me something. And they just, to immediately, it's almost a little like what my problem with Angel and Buffy was, except that then they were, like, actually in a relationship. But the fact that they just took Kylo and Rey and were, like, out of nowhere with no build-up, no explanation, were like, oh, my God, they're forced FaceTime each other. I was like...
well, yeah, I don't think... I don't want you to think that I'm saying that the bones were in the movie. I don't think they gave us anything
just
in the movie.
Fact that they were enemies.
I'm saying
that they
Ben Solo and
lovers.
Rey Kenobi, like the potential to have him be the bad guy and to have her be the last Jedi and have her like flip him in the. It would have been great. It could have been great. I don't think they showed us anything that made it great.
No, it could have. No, because that's also something we were talking about. And, like, the movies mentioned it, too, which is, like, to their detriment because they pointed out how clearly that they fucked that up within the plot of the movie when Palpatine was like, oh, but Luke Skywalker was here to turn his father. You don't have any family here. And it's like, yeah, exactly. And also, there was absolutely no effort put into showing that Kylo was found family. Like, I didn't even understand. Even if they were like, the Force FaceTime is happening and they were like, get over it. I'd be like, okay, as long as they actually like created a connection using that. They didn't. They just were like fucking weird to each other.
Yeah. Lauren's not going to get it, but I think listeners might and Hannah might. If anyone out there ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, there's a similar
I watched that.
Did you? You watched the cartoon?
Yes. My brother.
Oh, really?
My brother was the right age. I mean, I probably don't remember a ton of it and like watching it in order, but that was my age of Nickelodeon. Yeah. Okay.
So on that show, it's one of those things where I think what they did so right was they have the like they do the found family thing, which I think is never a mistake. Like audiences eat that shit up, right? Mm-hmm. And Zuko is like the bad guy for so long, but they so realistically and seamlessly add him in to the little crew at the end. But even at the end, it's like hard for them to trust, and it takes a really long time to build up to it, like even down to the finale. And I kept thinking to myself last night as I'm watching this, I'm like, even if Kylo lives, nobody would forgive him, and nobody would accept Rey and Kylo as a couple easily. Like,
right.
Maybe if Leia had still been alive and hadn't spitefully suicided herself to turn her son back to the light side, like she probably would have supported it because it's her son. She wants him back being good, and she probably would have like made it work. She probably would have smoothed out relations.
Also, dead Han Solo was like Kylo Ren's dead. Only Ben is here. So
yeah, like you know, his Slytherin Gryffindor ass parents are going to find excuses for him, and they're going to try to make it better. But he had no backing. Like he kind of had to die. That wasn't going to work out for you, bro. So. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it was just wasted potential for a relationship that I would have liked to have seen. Like, if I could go back and rewrite the movies and you give me Ben Solo and Rey, would have done that totally differently. Like, explain the Force connection, make there be a reason. Like, she's Obi-Wan's daughter, and Obi-Wan had a relationship with Leia, and there's, like, all these things that you could play with and toy with here, but no. Somehow, Palpatine returned. Great line, my favorite line.
Out of nowhere in the last movie.
Horrible. But you know what? I saw Freddie Prinze Jr. of all people, like SmackDown Star Wars fans that are fucking horrible about everything. Movie. Right. So he's a huge Star Wars fanboy just in general too, and like he learned things from George Lucas himself, like whatever.
He was one of the Jedi voices.
And he's like he knows his shit, okay? And he said at the end of the day, they're for kids. So keep that in mind. Like, would a child enjoy this? So if I were to show, like, my daughter, she's 6, if I were to show her the Star Wars trilogy, maybe, I don't know, maybe next year when her, like when she has a little more, like she can hold a little more in her brain. I think she'd like them. I think kids 7, 8, 9, I think they like them. But we get our adult heads into it and we're like, this didn't make sense and that didn't make sense. You know what? The kids love it. So I'm not going to rag on it that much. It's probably really not for me.
No, like, again, like, I want to like them. And I like Star Wars. The characters are great. Like, the story in general, if you just take it as like this mishmash, vague sense of like, oh, the story. I'm like, yeah, like, I'm not going to refuse to watch it. But I will be like, there are some glaring, ridiculous plot holes that are too much even for a space drama, you know, like a space soap opera. Also,
did you ever watch soap operas, like real soap operas?
My mom used to watch them. I would come home.
Hell yeah, I used to watch them all the time. Yeah. I was like a 5-year-old, like General Hospital stan. If you ever watch them, they're dramatic from the beginning, okay? And like the plot's tenuous at best. Like it doesn't all fit together. But as they go on for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, they care less and less about if the story makes sense because they know you're there to watch someone get bitch slapped and like cheat on each other or whatever.
Kill. Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what's happening here to me. Star Wars is a soap opera. And at a certain point, they're like, does it look pretty? And is it fun to watch the fights? And are the people fun? Like, and you know what? All 3 of them did entertain me.
Yeah, but I also think that's one of the biggest, like, because that's all that soap operas are when you strip them down. Yeah. Is the relationships between people, right? Which is why the Kylo Rey thing bothers me so much. Like,
me too.
You didn't do anything for that relationship.
Oh, it's so bad. And all these great books that I've heard really good things about have come out of like the Reylo fandom.
Yes.
And I know some amazing fanfic has been written and beautiful fan art. Like they have very talented fans. And I think they probably did a better job with these 2 characters. Like they probably saw the potential I had in my head going in like, that would be great. And I'll do it better. And you know what? That's what fans are for. That's what fan works are for. Like, take it and fucking make it better.
Listen, so I do not ship this at all. Don't even see it, like I said. But Love Hypothesis by Allie Hazelwood, which is based on a Reylo fanfic. Great fucking book. It's clearly fan fiction, but I devoured that shit. So
well, I was like in a war with myself watching these again. Me and Lauren watched all 3 together. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I do ship this, but I don't know why. Like, I really don't know why. Like, what is this? I don't get it. And I know for a fact part of it is because I don't like the Rey Finn thing because I like Finn and Poe. So when they try to shoehorn that
in. That was, like, I didn't understand.
Gross.
Like, I got it from Finn's point of view. Rey was never into it. And I don't even think Finn, and we'll get into this when we talk about Finn, I don't even really think that Finn had feelings for her. I feel like he was misunderstanding.
He, like, imprinted.
Yeah. I think he was misunderstanding what was going on with
so
him.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I think he just really loves her as a friend, but I could see with the movies, with that movie in general.
But it was so because they would drop it, right? There would be nothing for like a movie and a half. And then Finn's like, right before they die, Rey, I have to tell you something. And like we as the audience are Poe going, what do you have to tell her? What are you trying to tell her?
What we've learned is that when they try to do a romance in these movies, they're terrible at writing it. And when they don't, it's beautiful. Because they obviously didn't try to write Poe and Finn. And the chemistry was like, I will be seen. I don't give a fuck what you intended. Like, they're in love. So I mean, that's to me the most successful couple out of the sequels is Poe and Finn. But I still do like Kylo and Rey as a concept. So I don't know, do I ship it or not? I can't tell.
I don't think so. I don't think if there's anything there for you
I'm
in
cool
the content,
just,
then you aren't shipping it. You're like
wishing
for something that never. I like when you kiss.
I like Good Ben.
And then he died.
Yeah. I think that's the only time I shipped it was when they kissed.
I think the only TikTok I've seen is that fucking fight scene at the end with him. I need a hero. Yeah, that's why I started doing it.
That's so funny. No, I get a lot. I'm
sure that you do
a lot of Kylo Ren shit, but I don't watch them fully through, so I don't know why.
Interesting.
I just look at it and I see him pull out the lightsaber and go.
I get a lot of prequel stuff now, especially because I keep sharing it with you. So,
well, if you find any good ones, I won't not watch them. So that is where we stand on the movies. Let's get into talking about where these motherfuckers would go. um, where their houses are, because they're really interesting, and also I think all four incredibly obvious, but really, really funny to talk about why. Like, some more than others, honestly. Like, I can't wait to do some of this, actually. Okay. Let's start with Rey, because Rey is like the main character.
Yeah. She's the Luke Skywalker of these movies.
Rey is Obi-Wan Kenobi's daughter.
Yep. That's a fact.
I seriously believe it to be true. Actually, honestly, I really do think it's true. And I think Lauren brought up last night, like in the Rey movie, maybe they'll like say, haha, gotcha, and rewrite it and bends her down. And I think they might. Like, I really believe that, because it's so impossible for me to believe that she's related to Palpatine. You want me to believe Palpatine fucks, and I can't do that. So I can't do it. But yeah, so Rey, on the surface, like, you might think at first, like, she's got this traumatizing moment in her life, and then everything about her is based from that moment. So actually, people I've spoken to, my husband, at first might be like, well, she's really defined by this one piece of trauma. Wouldn't that make her a Gryffindor? No, not necessarily. In fact, if you ever heard us discuss house dynamics before, the house that she's in is the one that we always say literally doesn't move, and you have to move around them. They're not going to move from point A to point B. Point A is all that exists. Like, move around me if you don't like it. So with that being said, we pretty quickly put her in Ravenclaw. I think we discussed it like years ago, maybe, but we hadn't watched the movies together and then talked about why. But it was just really clear, specifically from that, like, that's what had me, was that she's fucking immovable. And the whole time she's just trying to get back to that place too. She's training to be a Jedi, and she's like, well, gotta get back to my sand planet in case my parents come back. Like, it's everything revolves around it. And Lauren brought up, like, if you were to put her on the scale, she'd be near Nancy Drew. So if you haven't listened to our Nancy Drew episode, you should, because she's like one of our favorite Ravenclaws ever. It's very similar, because she also has parental trauma and doesn't move on from it. There's 4 seasons of that show, and her phone background has not changed. She gets over it
as much as she can, right? By the end of the movie. No, but I'm saying, like, the end.
Yeah,
by the end. No. But Rey, by the end of the movies, has gotten over, like, she's accepted, she's moved on. Like, my parents sacrificed, they were great people, they're never coming back, blah, blah, blah. I've unlocked all these traumatic memories. And she still goes back.
Right.
Well, she goes to Tatooine, which is different than the sand planet she grew up on.
Well, I liked that you made the Nancy comparison, because it's kind of the same thing, and you're looking at it through a lens of a Ravenclaw. So Nancy had this issue where she didn't get to say goodbye to her mom. She knew there were pieces of the puzzle missing, and it really fucking bothered her. And she really couldn't move on either. She was actually really severely depressed, and really couldn't move on from that until the pieces of the puzzle were put into place for her. And it's the same for Rey. When that asshole Kylo pretty much fills in the blanks for her, she's like, okay. Like, she's so angry about it, about having such terrible answers, because it's really sad what happened to them. But you could see that she was like, oh, okay, I can slightly move my toe off of here now because I have an answer. I'm still going to go back. Couldn't tell you why, but I can move a little bit now. There's a little bit of healing there. I think it's very, very Ravenclaw of her.
Something that's really funny about Rey too, when you watch these movies, because she is the Luke Skywalker of these movies, so she gets picked up off her sand planet, and put into the Resistance, and all of a sudden it's like, you have superpowers and you're our best hope against the First Order. And with Luke, you see the Gryffindor response. He's like, oh yeah, I am the chosen one, you know, and I am the chosen one, and he immediately starts training and inexplicably gets really, really good, really, really fast for no reason, and is like everybody's greatest hope and is immediately like lead guy or whatever. It's just the very Gryffindor response. Rey, her response is incredibly different. Like, you can see when because Finn also like joins kind of by happenstance, gets picked up. But Finn is doing something different, like in how he is being there. Like, he is active in that part. He has a reason for being there because he came from the First Order. He was a stormtrooper. Rey just kind of gets picked up and then is very Ravenclaw about the whole, like, just going with it, man. Like, she's like, I'll just do this until I can go home. Like, she doesn't really have a reason for being like, yes, Rey is a good person. And she's like, sure, I'll fight the First Order. But it isn't really like a big deal, fiery like motivation for her like it is with Poe. She's just like, I'm here and I can help and I'll do that and then I'll leave. And that's how she is through the entirety of the movie. She like she gets presented with tasks and she's like, okay, complete the task. Check mark. Like, what's the next thing to do? She's just kind of totally like moving through these movies. Like, I'll do whatever anybody wants me to do as long as I feel like it. And she's pretty much down for like anything in the service of the rebellion until they're done and she goes back to the sand planet.
Yeah, she's very, very much the type of Ravenclaw where it's like, I'm going to do what I like, first and foremost. And pretty much what she's looking for in all three of the movies, especially with the OG trio, she's looking for parents. She's looking for people to put into a parental figure.
I think her system is also truth, like Nancy, just like manifested in a different way. Like Nancy is mystery, got to solve the mystery. And like, that's how I figure out how the world works. Rey just is really like her own personal truth. She's like, who am I? Yeah. And that's what she's looking for.
And it's not a Hufflepuff, like, where do I fit and what's my role
she doesn't.
here?
She doesn't need to fit with anybody or find her people. She just wants to know, who am I? And who she is like a fact that's already been established. It's just blocked from her. So she's just like trying to figure out. She's like, I know I am a person and it's within me. I just need to bring it out and figure out what it is.
Yeah. And I mean, she tries to find that through all three of them, Luke, Han, and Leia. And I mean, she has different like reactions to all three of them. I think Luke she's the most frustrated with, but she's still like, can you blame her in these movies? Luke is like completely ridiculous. I think it's really easy to latch on to like Han first, for example, because it's the first one that she really like spends. And
she already hero worship his like.
She had like there's
reputation.
a hero worship, whatever.
Yeah,
and he's also like, stop it, kid. Like, he's just like, don't look at me like that with adoration and whatever. And she's just like, yeah, I will continue to do whatever I want. She's like, yes, sir. Yes. Like, she just loves him right off the bat. And it's the same with Leia, except that Leia gives more emotionally and like hugs her and tells her that she's doing a great job and trains her. And she like immediately takes to calling her master, like, no problem. Luke, she said there to like kick his ass, you know, like
but
wake him up and bring him back. But she also does call him
master right away too. Like, that's part of, that's the Kenobi coming out with her where she's like, all right, Jedis are a system and you call the older Jedis who are your betters master. Like,
I know that she's part of the resistance, so I can't say that she's big on rules because their whole thing is like breaking all the rules to save the entire galaxy, right? But she is big on rules to a certain extent, like her own rules though. Like what we saw with Rick Grimes, like what we see with lots of crazy ass Ravenclaws. Like the second Finn shows up, and she like gets the stick and points at him. And she's like, I'm the police. Why are you here? Tell me everything.
This droid said you stole this jacket. Like,
thievery is bad. I'm going to take you to my sand jail. Like, okay, Rey, you have no fucking authority here whatsoever. Like, chill out. But you see, like with Obi-Wan too, me and Lauren just kind of couldn't believe how similar, if you watch the Obi-Wan show, like her beginnings are to his when he's on the planet, like low-key stalking Luke. He's just going through the motions.
They both have like Obi-Wan's got PTSD. She's got trauma. No. She's got trauma. She knew what happened to her parents. She her brain. She did the Dean Winchester change memories thing where she had so much trauma that
you
she
have
was like,
to.
I'm not going to remember it that way. Yeah. And you sit on the sand planet and you hide from things and you tell yourself it's for a reason. Obi-Wan's like, I'm here to watch Luke Skywalker. That's what I told Padme I would do. And Rey's like, I'm here to wait for my parents that she knows deep down are dead. But she's like, that's what I've got to do. But it's really hiding. You're really hiding.
It's really sad. But I mean, it's also just way more frustrating after seeing the Obi-Wan show and seeing the connections between them, knowing they're in the same house, knowing he's the first voice she hears when she picks up the lightsaber. He's the first voice that comes through at the end too. Like, he's her dad. I don't even, it's not even debatable for me. It's so fucking stupid otherwise.
Because I looked it up because I knew this was like a fan theory or whatever. So I looked up, like, was this ever And I found an article that was like J.J. Abrams was like planting the seeds to put it this way. And actually, I just found something that said, and I was like, wow, you're right. The whole fucking Force connection with Kylo and Rey would have made way more sense because Anakin and Obi-Wan had a fucking Force connection.
Exactly.
So it would have just been like passed down through the Force, like through generations.
Sense.
That would make sense. I would be like, okay.
I think I told you last night, I think he got frustrated that people figured it out and he just didn't want to do the obvious thing.
You're stupid, J.J. Abrams. You're
then you did
baby.
the dumbest fucking thing you could do. So Sith Lord, of all Sith Lords, had it in him to like create Jedi through his blood. Like, I don't believe it. I don't believe he would have created anything that was that good ever. Huh?
He started as a Jedi, technically.
Yeah, but like he's evil as fuck. He was never gonna stay that way.
He let the hatred win. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Just like it's so stupid narratively, and I can't get over it. And I feel like I'm gonna keep getting so triggered by it and keep bringing it up. So you have to rein me in because it's really pissing me off.
You will get me going. Like it's
annoying.
It's fucking stupid. And Rachel and I made the decision. We're going to gaslight all of you.
Yeah.
She is Rey Kenobi. So, you know.
It even sounds good. Rey Palpatine. What the fucking shit is that? Oh my God.
Well, she thought it was stupid too. She went to the end of those movies and said, I'm Rey Skywalker. So.
Well, shit, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you after all that? Like,
what really pisses me off is that they never, I mean, I guess there would be no reason to mention Kenobi to her. But like, she didn't even have the option to explore. Like, all she knew was the Skywalkers, which is another thing. Sorry, I'm going back to the movies, which is another thing that I know everybody's mad because, you know, the first movie's written by J.J. Abrams and then he left the second movie for reasons I can't really remember now. And so the second movie's written by Rian Johnson. And that's why everybody's like, this is where they all fucked up. This is where it all got fucked up. Rian fucked it up. And then J.J. had to come back and he had to kind of fix what Rian did, but he couldn't because he fucked it up so bad. So
could have done anything else than what he did.
Whatever. Anyway, so that's why. But the thing that I really, really liked about that movie is that it made it was going in the direction of making Finn a Jedi. And it did that scene at the end where there were those random kids in the mining town using the Force. It's not just a Skywalker thing, which is what, I mean, the prequels, obviously, it wasn't all Skywalkers who were Jedi, but since the Jedi Order has been taken down, it's been like, all that's left are the Skywalkers. And it's like, so even going back and having Rey be like, I'm Rey Skywalker, even though, yeah, technically, like, based on what they told us by bloodline, she isn't, it's still being like, it's all about the Skywalker family.
Yeah.
Which is what R2-D2 wants you to believe. But it's not. There are other Jedi families.
Speaking of R2-D2.
It's not barred by the socioeconomic status.
Speaking of R2-D2, you want to know how Rey could have learned about Obi-Wan through fucking C-3PO's memories, through R2-D2's memories? She didn't know shit about the prequel people, and that's a fucking tragedy.
She didn't go, like, look them up, right? Or, like, you know, actually fucking, you know where she should have learned that shit from Luke? But Luke fucking had to yell at her and throw his lightsaber
wasn't teaching nobody
and
nothing.
Pretend light fire on a tree that Yoda blew up.
He's the most ridiculous example of a Gryffindor. Like, the most ridiculous. He, like...
Great example.
I told Lauren, I was like, he got his teaching license revoked for child murder, like attempted child murder, and he never wanted to teach anyone ever again. So she wasn't going to learn shit from him except, like, how to channel the Force and whatever and get a few words of encouragement, which is all Rey needs from a parental figure. Like, that's literally all she needs.
That brings me back too. So, Luke freaked the fuck out because he told her to, like, feel the earth or whatever and, like, feel everything on the island. And she got distracted by, like, the dark side. And so it was so funny because Luke freaked out. He's also got PTSD from Kylo. Yeah, so he freaked the fuck out and was like, I'm not teaching you anymore. Like, you're going to be evil. I'm not going to be responsible for this. I will not be responsible. So, and poor Rey, who is not in Kylo's house and is just a Ravenclaw who is interested and wants to see what's up with things, was literally just like, I don't feel anything about the dark side. I just want to see what's up here. Like, it's calling to me.
I'm trying to learn, dude.
Like, let's see what's going on. I'm not tempted by it at all. She's like, I have no feeling or connection to the dark side. And I really, you know, like, these movies want you to, these movies really try their best to be like, Kylo could tempt her over. Like, Kylo wants to bring over to the dark side. That's
not
the whole
once
push and pull.
It.
I don't believe it either. They have the hallucination or vision or whatever it is in the third movie where she sees, like, dark Rey or whatever. Not once do I ever. She even, I think she says once or twice. I don't even know if she ever says I could be. She says that, or Kylo's like, I saw your future and you're ruling on the throne with me. And I think she says once that she sees a vision of herself on like the dark side throne too. Not once do I ever believe that this woman actually thinks that's going to happen.
Nope.
Not once. She knows exactly who she is. And all this shit with the dark side is just her being like, why do you people think that? Like, I'm really interested. I want to know how that could happen to me. Like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, her entire thing is like, it's very, very interesting actually, because she pretty much has all the answers already, but she just wants validation. Like, she just wants people to tell her that actually you are super powerful. Actually, yeah, your parents did die. Unfortunately, you've tampered with your own memories. Yes, you do have the power of light and dark in you. Like, yes, you're on the right track. She just literally is looking for validation constantly, but she already has all the answers. And it's something Kylo keeps telling her too, and you can see he's like visibly frustrated with it because he wants to use that so that she'll do what he wants. But he is the one that really picks up on it and constantly says to her, like, you already know all this. Like, it's all in your head. I'm seeing in your head, like, you literally, I don't need to be telling you this right now. And she's like, shut up, murderous snake. Like, she's like, no, I want you to tell me. She just needs to hear it from other people. I don't know how to connect that back to Ravenclaw, really. I think it's just a her thing. Like, it's part of her system, part of the truth that she's looking for. She's like, just validate my truth so that I know I found the correct truth, I guess.
So another thing that really got me too, and I do remember looking this up after the movies ended because I was like, what is that? You know, she goes to Tatooine and she buries Luke and Leia's lightsabers near Luke's old farm, right? Like deep, deep, deep in the sand. But then she still has a lightsaber and it's yellow. And I remember looking this up because I was like, why is her lightsaber yellow? And then it was like, do lightsabers mean anything? Like, what's happening here? So I went through this whole like thing of like what the colors mean and blah, 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 blah. And apparently there is like, you know, because the bad guys are red, but then the Jedi have blue or green. And I guess the green are like the counselors, like the thinky people. And the blue are the combat people. So Anakin and Obi-Wan had blue lightsabers and Luke and Leia had blue lightsabers. But yellow lightsabers apparently belong to, I think they call them centennials, and they're the people that keep the balance between the blue-green lightsaber people. And that just struck me as extremely Ravenclaw.
Yeah, really.
She's like, this is my lightsaber, and I'm not picking sides.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, I think thinking and fighting is important.
No, for real. And she's like, when Luke's shitting all over the Jedi, which respect, the Jedi fucking suck. The council sucks in the prequels. They're a bunch of fucking pieces of garbage. He's like very jaded by it and everything. And she's like, you have to stop seeing things in black and white. Like none of this is this is not reality. How you're seeing it is not true. And it's funny because Obi-Wan has a different system than she does, really, where he is the one who says the line, only a Sith deals in absolutes, too. It's like, it's mildly related, probably because they're father and daughter, that she's able to see the gray areas like he was, too. And it just goes back to, like, Luke's freak out, where he is very black and white thinking, and he's like, no, you touched the black spot in your vision like you're a fucking demon, get away from me. And she's like, dude, how is anyone supposed to learn without balance? How is anyone supposed to learn if I'm not able to just like see the full picture? You're really limiting yourself here, and this is why Kylo Ren hates you, and you fucked all that shit up. Like you gotta chill and reframe the way you think. And I just think, you know, another connection between the father and daughter who are in the same house. That's all I'm saying.
Anakin, bring back to the Force, or bring balance to the Force, Rey. Like I did.
I did it first and I was so good at it. Tell me I was good at it, right? I was so good. I was the best at it. Oh my God, he's fucking
Your dad
ridiculous.
won't stop hitting me.
Yeah, really. But yeah, let me think. Anything else for Rey? Anything else for Rey? I mean,
We got a lot of it. Like, again, don't expect us to talk about the plot. What
I
did
know,
she
I'm really trying to think through the plot right now.
She hung around with Han Solo, and then she went and trained. She found Luke and trained with him, and then they finally put the trio together at the end, and they all went after that compass thingy to find the magical, secret, hidden Sith Lord planet we've never heard of before in our lives. So
Well, a big one last Ravenclaw moment, just because I think we talked about it, or at least I talked about it with George, was when they're with Han in the beginning in The Force Awakens, like the way that she traps the creature in between the two doors and waits till the last
and George had said
second.
it at the same time I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Finn has been caught by this thing, and he's like screaming as it drags him through the halls, going very, very fast. And Rey's just staring at the computer screen, not like phased at all, and then like pokes a button at the last second. Yep.
Yeah, extremely Ravenclaw. Yeah, she's one of those where she really doesn't feel like I could see you making a weak argument for Hufflepuff belonging or Gryffindor trauma, but it's really not that surface level. It's really not.
She's really obvious.
She's a pretty well-rounded character. I have problems with like the writing in these movies and everything, but I do like a lot of what they did with her. She's super powerful, and I think she always knew it, which is also very Ravenclaw of her. So great main character. Or she's
at least like not surprised, like, you know, and
she's
it's not a Gryffindor like I knew I was special. It's kind of just like, yeah, this is who I am. This part of who I am.
It's not a Slytherin Anakin. Like, I'm literally the chosen one.
Right. I'm here to bring mounts to the Force.
It's very, very without ego.
It's literally, it's again, like I said at the beginning, like it's literally like I'll do what I can, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and I can do this. So
she's a good person.
She
at
is.
the end of the day.
I'm glad that. Well, I mean, before all these strikes are happening now, hopefully she still gets a movie, and hopefully they tell us who her real dad is. But anyway.
Yeah, and we will be discussing that in a future episode when they rectify that plot hole. And then I think the second next major character is Finn, and that makes me sad because he should have been a Jedi and his story should have went somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm full of complaints.
And John Boyega was treated like absolute shit.
I know.
By Disney,
which is
by
super
fans.
fucked up because he's extremely talented. Extremely talented.
Rachel, when it was sometime in the third movie where they're delivering some of their awful dialogue, and Rachel's like, John is acting his fucking face off in the background. I'm like, yeah man,
it's all he's got.
He's got to get that bread
but
somehow.
Oh man, like even down to, first of all, when they make him scream Rey 8 billion fucking times, every single time I believed his panic. Mm-hmm. And like at the end, when they do the whole like trio hug, whatever, and he's just like openly weeping, like you can see just from an actor standpoint, he felt fucking everything. And he was so good at translating it onto the screen. I had hoped for the Jedi moment for him. It's where I really thought it was going to go. I remember thinking that
they gave him the lightsaber in the first movie, and somehow he was able to wield it beautifully, and then they just were like, never mind.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
And he took away Finn's ability.
Do you know his numbers? FN
2147847, something like that.
Something like that.
There was a 7 and a 2 in there. Hang on.
Research team?
Hey!
Research team, what are the numbers?
Hey, FN 2187.
FN 2187. Immediately his boyfriend gives him a nickname, and that is how we get Finn. It's a good name.
That was in reference to the number of the cell in which Princess Leia was detained in the original Star Wars.
That's crazy.
Thanks, research team.
Yeah, thank you for all that you do. You work tirelessly. That's so cool. Man, they could have done so many cool things in these movies.
I know. Anyway, Finn is so clearly a Hufflepuff. I don't know what you as the audience would try to tell me. Hopefully not anything else. I don't know. He's so I think from the movies, Rachel, now he wasn't a clone. He was a child who was taken from his family at a very young age, so he doesn't remember them. He was basically it was child trafficking, slavery, and was trained to be a stormtrooper. So he was a stormtrooper, not through his own choice, and obviously has a problem with killing all these people. When we meet him, he's clearly, he's upset actually that a stormtrooper has died, but then also they're supposed to shoot on civilians, and he's having an issue with that as well. So it's kind of like the straw that breaks the camel's back, and he steals a TIE fighter and gets away with Poe, who is also on the ship. So and I think that speaks to his Hufflepuffness, not that he felt as if the stormtroopers were his community, but that's the one that he was given. So he didn't feel any connection or loyalty to them, but that's where he was. So he was doing his best, you know, like he was like, this is the group that I have to be a part of. So I'm going to do my best until he as a person could not take it anymore. It's very Cass adjacent.
Man, I was waiting to say it. I was like, let me let her finish making her point.
Yeah.
And then say, I was so constantly reminded of Castiel. So much. They got to be near each other. At least somewhat, like sort of on the same side of the scale. Because it is very that. It's very like, I'm the first one who's going to break away and question. Because this doesn't feel right in my gut. And then like his leaders would be like, why do you have a gut, dude? Like, you're not supposed to have a gut feeling. You're not supposed to do anything except follow orders. And he's like, but why? But why? To everything. And immediately fucks off. And he's like, also the way that he's so guilty about it, he feels so bad about it because he sees how Rey's face lights up and she's like, you're with the resistance. That's so cool. And he's like, no. And immediately comes clean. Like in the first movie, he's like, I was with the bad guys. I was terrible.
He does lie for a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, well, he kind of has to, but you can see how bad he feels about it.
Yeah.
Like, I, as a Gryffindor, would have never felt bad about it for a second.
They were asking him for information that he didn't have, and I think that just bothered him as a Hufflepuff because that's the thing too. He ends up like his biggest asset in all of these battles or whatever is that he knows stuff about the First Order. So he's like telling them, this is where their jammer is, this is where their track. Like, get me on the ship, and I can stop the signal. Blah 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 blah. And he does that actually every time they go up against them. On the flip side, he's also the one being like, we can't beat the First Order. We can't go against them. There's nothing we can do. Like, I've seen it from the inside. There's nothing we can do, which I think is a little bit of that like Hufflepuff paradox thing going on where he's like, I know them so well that I don't think that there's anything we can do against them because I was a cog in that system and I know that you can't defeat them. So then he's got these resistance people who are telling him like, no, we can go against that. We can go against that. Like, just give us what you can give us. So he does do that. And also like he immediately, like he is the glue between Poe and Rey. He's the connector between the two of them. He is the one like most concerned with like keeping them all together. Like when Rey disappears the first time, he's ready to like it's those people are his community. It's really not the resistance because he's ready to fuck over the resistance in order to get Rey to come back safely. So like Rachel alluded to earlier, the movies try to make it like he's in love with Rey, but really Rey is the first person he meets after leaving the First Order, and she's nice to him. And he kind of just latches onto that immediately. Like, you know, like first friend ever that I have made. Like, you know. It's
also very like, you can look at another Hufflepuff that he's similar to, like Cass, and see that the Angels were originally Cass's community. There's no debating it. He breaks away from that. When they all call him a traitor, it hurts him. It bothers him. Doesn't bother Finn for a second.
When
Kylo calls him a traitor, the other ones call him a traitor.
Phasma,
he's like, don't care, don't touch my friends. Because he's immediately assimilated to an actual community where he belongs. And he immediately is like, what information can I give you and how can I fulfill a role to be useful to you? I mean, it's very stereotypically his house. Like, he's very much the poster boy for his house. And he really wants to do good. Like, he really, really believes in it. And it's like, he spent, we don't know how long even. I mean, I guess his entire fucking life. I don't know how much time he spent in the suit, right? Like, actually fulfilling the orders. But he spent his whole life being trained one way. And you just couldn't break him into it. All the other ones are kind of blindly following and calling him a traitor. You could not break this guy. Like, he immediately knew what side was right, what side was wrong, and just fucking went right to that side and gave everything he had to help. To a point where, like, it's not, I'm not going to say like a Hufflepuff thing. It's not a Hufflepuff thing to run away, right? It's not, but it is a Hufflepuff thing to like look at something and judge it appropriately. So when they're in the bar and he's like, we've been here too long. They already know that we're fucking here. I don't want to be tied to you. I don't want to weigh you down. I'm going to get out of here. Like, he doesn't expect Rey or want Rey to come after him either. He pretty much is just like, the best thing I can do for you is to fuck off. And that's a huge thing Cass does too. Cass does it in Purgatory to stay away from Dean. He's like, they're going to come after you because I'm here. Like, if you're smart, you'll run and you'll stay away from me. So that also struck me as very Hufflepuff. Like, just that moment in the bar where he's like, I hear you can get me to another planet. You got to get me out of here. I don't want to be here when they get here. I don't want my friends fucked over by associating with me. And he immediately comes clean. He's like, I was this. I don't believe in it. But my advice to you is to, like, give up because I know what they bring to the table. And he really needed his community members, his new community members, to tell him, like, I'm not just going to leave you, dude. Like, that's not how this works. And light bulb went on and he never tried it again. It's like, okay, I guess we're better together. All right. So, yeah, he's hugely Hufflepuff with that. He's also hugely Hufflepuff, just like, he doesn't really argue the way, like, Poe gets really angry and so does Rey. And they'll, like, scream at each other. And he's always very exasperated and just like, why are you wasting your time on this? You're wrong. You're right. Let's move on. Like, I don't have time for this. His exasperation and being sick of them and their shit, also very Hufflepuff. And they argue quite a bit. So you see the exasperation. It's like Cass in the middle of, like, Sam and Dean arguing and bickering. And he's just like, why does this matter? This is stupid. Can we go, like, solve the problem? We're here to solve a problem. I don't really care about this. So that's another hugely Hufflepuff thing. And then what else? Oh, plots.
I don't know. I feel like we've got it all. There's not a whole lot to Finn being a Hufflepuff. Like, you know, he just...
Well, it's difficult when it's a show or a movie where they're very, like, everything they do is their house. Like, I can't just outline the entire 3 movies as proof, though you could watch them and understand what I'm saying very easily. Because he's pretty
especially
Hufflepuff
hard
out
with
the
these
fucking
movies
gate.
when the plot didn't make any sense.
Yeah, unfortunate. Okay, we could then move into his boyfriend,
Okay, let's do Poe.
who he doesn't like to argue with, and just is like, yes, okay, baby, you're right.
So happy you're alive.
So Poe, I confess, I really don't know. I didn't retain much about his backstory, so I mean, you can tell them if you think.
I
it's
mean, they
relevant to
didn't
his
really.
house.
Yes, that he was a spice runner.
Yeah, that.
Basically, like a drug dealer.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a Ravager. He was a
Spice
scavenger.
runner. Yeah. No. Rey was a scavenger.
Right.
Oh,
I'm
was a
thinking-
spice runner.
No, I'm saying Ravager from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
I'm just making a
Closer
connection.
to Rey. Except she didn't leave the planet.
Yeah, so he was kind of he did his bad boy thing, and then he left and made that girl mad.
Yes,
Bisexual
he did.
icon, flirting with everyone throughout the galaxy. He's super hot. I'm getting off track. Oscar Isaac is so beautiful. Help me. I'm getting off track.
What do you mean? Say his house.
Oh, well, he's a Gryffindor. Sorry. Yeah, huge Gryffindor. I don't think that's a shocker to anybody.
I really hope not.
He feels the same way I do about C-3PO, and he doesn't let his foot off his fucking neck for a second like I wouldn't either.
Biggest, like, most, because Poe's movie, I guess, too, because Rey's, you know, I don't know. His movie was the second one where he was
The
define
worst
Leia every it was extremely Gryffindor, Rachel, that he was like,
it's just ridiculous,
I actually
though.
know better.
Yeah, based on nothing.
Because I think like Leia calls him flyboy, like shoot first, ask questions later. Yeah. I'm so well. If you had told me what the plan was that I had no business knowing, then I wouldn't have done all this mutiny. But
Yeah, well, he thought he knew better, and you know that can oftentimes be a problem for our house.
yeah,
but-
so like he sends Finn and
Rose.
Yeah, I was gonna say her actual name, Kelly Marie Tran. Love her. All of you men who were disgusting to her, enjoy your time in hell.
I mean, you can die.
yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, and then go to hell. But anyway, so he like actually he sends them off on a mission, like he's got any sort of like authority. He Leia demotes him because he didn't listen, and then he's still going around introducing himself as commander, and that new vice admiral is like, don't you mean captain? It wasn't Leia's like last standing order to demote you. And it's very like at the end too, like Leia has to shoot him to get him to stop mutiny. And
she's like, I know your kind all too well.
Like, I've both slept with and been related to them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
only
so
a gun will stop you.
They're loading his unconscious body onto the ship, and I forget the purple-haired lady's name, but Leia's talking to her. And she's like, yep, that's my best one. And the purple lady's like, he's annoying. I like him. And he's like, yeah, me too. Like, that's very...
You got to give it to him. He won't give up.
Mm-mm.
He doesn't give up, that's for sure.
He knows the right thing to do. And if he has to mutiny the entire resistance, he gonna do it. Because he knows best. You are cowards, and you are, this is awful that you're leaving this giant ship behind and saving all the people, but I don't know that part. I just think that the resistance is over because you're leaving the giant ship behind, and the giant ship has big cannon guns that go poo-poo, and I like going poo-poo. So
yeah, he of all of the new trio, is the one who lets his emotions take over the quickest without asking questions, without trying to find more information, because he's led solely by his gut. And if his gut tells him something's a little finicky here, he's going to like rage basically. And yeah, mutiny
it's not always
try to fuck it all up.
Yeah, I was laughing at the end of the third. So he's an extremely good pilot, like a good pilot. That's undeniable. His best friend is little BB-8, little droid, little sassy droid who he loves dearly. I was cracking up in the last movie because they're, in that big giant battle, and he's in his ship or whatever, shooting things, and they're all being shot out of the sky, and he's watching his friends explode, and he's just over the comms like, guys, I'm so sorry. I really thought we could do it. Like, giving this whole dramatic speech as people are blowing up around him. I'd be like, get off the fucking comms.
The whole time I'm like, and you wanted to be captain so bad. And you wanted to lead so bad. And they're like, what do we do, Poe? And he's like, don't die. I don't know.
I don't have a plan. It was just to shoot things. It was just to shoot things.
He's such a deeply feeling individual. Everything he's feeling is so written all over his face all of the time. The second he hears Lando's voice come in with backup, the immediate relief, he's like, I was ready to die. Like, I'm ready to die at any moment in battle. That's fine. But hell yeah, let's fucking do it. Like, he can't hide anything he's thinking. And he's also such a drama queen. When Rey and Finn are talking, and Finn's like, I'll just tell you later. Like, I don't want to talk about it right now. He's like, and keep it from Poe? What are you keeping from Poe? Why are you want to tell Rey? Out of this?
Would you want to tell? Yeah, and then right before they're about to die without Rey, Poe's like, so what were you going to tell Rey? And Finn's like, I don't, why do you need to, because we're about to die, and I want to know. I want to know. We're about to die.
Poe was asking,
you owe this to me.
You owe this to Poe. He's so upset at like not know, and like, oh my god, big fucking mood. I need to know everything about everyone at all times. And I really care about it or you know, but I need to know. When you do
something like that, when it's like, Rey, I have to tell you, and then like dramatic, like you get cut off or whatever, and then it's like, never mind, I'm not going to tell you now. It's like, excuse me, you did that in front of us.
Yeah. Also, a huge Gryffindor thing about Poe is that he has a lot of anxiety and panic. Like, he doesn't want to wait to see a result because he's scared that it's going to go sideways. And he really, like, even with the giant snake thing, like, I couldn't really watch that scene because I really hate snakes, so I kept my eyes closed for a lot of it. But I do remember him really panicking, being like, what the fuck is she doing? What the fuck is she doing? And, like, it's a very Gryffindor to get like that and to get all up in arms and to get all, like, get that ball of feeling in your chest and just that panic where you're like, stop. I don't want to wait to hear the whole plan. Stop, please. Like, don't do the bad thing, please. And he's like that. And I mean, that's also why Leia has to shoot him to calm him down. He really needs some anti-anxiety meds. He really needs to chill out. Like, he's really always in a tizzy. All of the time. Except when he's flirting, which then he's in his natural habitat and element, whether it's with Finn or that other girl, the other spice runner. He's like pretty chill with them. No, I don't remember her name either. But
they have also
they're running away for their lives, and he's like, "Can I kiss you?
Can I kiss you?
Kissy smoochy time." That's pretty much Poe. Like, they needed a good old Gryffindor in there to really, like, match out all of the logic that's going on. Like, you needed a hothead. I don't know what to tell you. Slytherin would have fixed problems too fast and also like not really interacted well with them.
I'm just gonna tell you right now, I guess spoiler for Kylo. Well, I guess it's a big spoiler. There's no they weeded out the Slytherins. They said these smoothies are going too smoothly with the Slytherins.
Yeah, but I also think with the type of like I don't know, the type of people that the main three are, I don't think a Slytherin could put up with it very long or get along with them very well. I could see them just really getting annoyed and being like, I don't know why you guys are insisting on doing anything this way. No, thank you. Like, I don't see it meshing well. They needed to be three, like, nincompoops sometimes, and it doesn't make for a very good action movie to just solve the problem very quickly. So,
sorry,
I get it.
So boring. Throwing ourselves off the cliffs
Leia
of
gives us
Vormir so
enough.
you can have the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
Sorry, we solved that problem so quickly.
It's too quick. It's too fast. Where's the drama of it all? I guess if you got like a really dramatic Slytherin, it could have worked. Like a really funny one. Anakin. That would have been fun to watch. What?
Anakin.
Yeah, Anakin in there. He out Slytherined all the Slytherins. He can't do that again.
He would have been done with them all too.
No, completely. No, and you see it with Leia. Speaks through her face so much. She doesn't have to talk a lot.
Bro,
like,
the only thing holding her on was that her husband just died, so she was like, I'm disassociated, and she's like, I'm a suicide soon. So she was like,
we were dying laughing at her, literally like, look at what you did to me, and I know I'm doing it to myself, but look at what you did to me. Feel bad about it. Goodbye forever. It's so great. Well, it's so great.
And to be like, that happened primarily because we lost Carrie Fisher, which was extremely unfortunate. Like, she had to die in the movie. So that they
managed to make it within character.
No, they did. I believe it. And like all three of the original trio ended up basically just choosing when they got to die.
Yeah,
so.
They really did. Like, do you guys actually think that Han didn't know? Like, it was a possibility that his kid was going to fuck.
He went up
Han's
there to
entire
get
thing.
He went up there.
Is if I die, I die. He doesn't care. He's ready and prepared for it any moment.
He went up there knowing.
Yeah, he completely went there knowing, and like that leads us really easily into Kylo Ren.
Yeah, and I was going to say real quick, like, we've already done Han. He's a Gryffindor, but I would almost say that because he spent. We talked about it when we talked about him, but he spent all his time running, right? He's like, my son went evil, fucking bye. I think that him going up there and letting Kylo kill him was like finally taking the responsibility. Like that he thinks it's somewhat his fault that Kylo ended up that way. So he was like, all right, I deserve.
It's all Luke's fault. Han didn't even want to send him there. Han didn't even want Ben to go.
He didn't want him to be a Jedi at all.
He was like, they're losers, man. Come on. I'll teach you how to shoot. This is stupid. You'll learn to shoot from Chewie. Like, what more do you want? Why do you need to do this? I totally get him. But so Kylo Ren is a hero because he gave Harrison Ford what he wanted. You wouldn't have even gotten Han Solo if not for Kylo Ren killing him. Okay, because Harrison Ford said, I need to straight up die. I'm not coming back and doing this a million times. And he got us Han Solo, so you should respect him for that alone. Anywho, we're talking about Mr. Ben Solo himself, which is a really cool name, and also so is Kylo Ren. I gotta give it to him. He's got some cool names. And he's a pretty funny guy. He's a pretty funny guy. At least to me, I find him fucking hilarious. So I guess I just gotta come out and say it, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, he's a Gryffindor, guys. I don't know if y'all picked up on it or not, but like from the very first temper tantrum, I know that rage. I know that like feeling of everyone around me is so stupid. And my grandpa was the coolest. Yeah, the whole time he's angry at everyone for trying to teach him a lesson. He's like, the day I learn a lesson is the day I might as well fucking die. And I'm going to kill you for trying to teach me. And you know who taught him that way of thinking? His uncle, also a Gryffindor. So I can't blame him for being as pissed off as he was and even turning to a different way of being because Luke fucked him up. he gave him some serious fucking nightmare fuel and trauma. Like, imagine waking up to that feeling like, this dude's gonna stab me. What am I supposed to do with this? And then he immediately killed like all the younglings training there, like, because grandpa did it first, and my grandpa was super cool, and I want to be like grandpa. And like, also don't blame him for hero worshiping Anakin, like you all should if you have any sense, because I fucking love Anakin. So it's like, I get him to a certain point. Okay, I get him to a certain point. Where he loses me, like where we're not the same type of Gryffindor, is like, I just feel like at a certain point, like, you just let it go a little, man. Like, I get you're mad. I get it. He's like full Gryffindor anger, like full fucking dramatic rage. And I don't know how much the dark side affects you. I guess quite a bit.
Hatred fuels the dark side, so
I mean, he's being drugged like Anakin was by the cocaine of the dark side, so it's manifesting in a different way. So you get to see it through a Slytherin, you get to see what Anakin does. Anakin becomes obviously very angry, but also angry with purpose. So he's not throwing tantrum, he's just killing you. Kylo's doing both, right? He'll force choke you and also then go cry over his grandpa's helmet about it like 5 seconds later. It's very Gryffindor, and it's kind of interesting. I wonder what the other houses would look like affected by the dark side. I can see like how he became a rage monster because of that. He's constantly feeding into it. You see how it affects Anakin. I wonder how it would do a Hufflepuff or a Ravenclaw. I don't get to know because I think Hux is a Hufflepuff, but then, oh, guys, he's a spy. He's been a spy all along.
He's also not a Jedi.
Stupid.
He's not connected to the Force, so it don't matter.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like...
What do you think Palpatine is?
You know what Palpatine is. You know exactly what Palpatine is.
So you know one of the other ones.
Yeah, I guess so. Ooh, man. Ooh. Yeah, never mind. I know what hatred does to that house. I know really well. Palpatine's a Hufflepuff, guys, just like in case you were wondering. So I guess it's just a Ravenclaw that we don't know. Oh my god, infect Obi-Wan quickly so I can see how crazy that
I would have
gets.
eaten that shit up.
Oh my god, it would have been sexy. Yeah, so Kylo, I don't know, I guess he's like one of those gifted kids that went wrong, right? Like, he was super powerful, like he had all this potential within him to be a great fighter, and he is a great fighter, arguably, like he's great with his pew-pew sword. But, you know, it all goes to shit because he's tempted by the dark side and his uncle tries to kill him and he doesn't want to listen to his mom. I don't care that you love me. Fucking talk to me, Mom. I'm mad at you.
I love when Rey's like, why'd you kill Han Solo? Why'd you hate your father so much? He's like, I don't hate my father. Rey is incensed. She was like, that was wrong. What you did was wrong. It was bad. It was wrong. You have to give me a reason. There has to have been a reason. He's like, it really wasn't. It's because I'm mad.
I looked cool doing it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it was a pretty baller move.
Because Snoke told me that I couldn't be a real Sith until I killed my father.
And the entire time, also, extremely Gryffindor of him. I don't care how much you think he was up Snoke's ass. He resented him the entire time. He resents anyone who's telling him what to do.
At the end, that's why he's like, I'm the Supreme Commander. Yeah. And then I'm the Supreme Commander. And then Palpatine came along and he's like, I'm not listening to you.
Yeah. He doesn't want to follow any instructions or any rules at all. He wants to lead completely. And the kind of Gryffindor who wants to lead is oftentimes a problem unless they have like, unless they have a little insecurity in them, unless they have a little bit of the like paradox in them, right? Ben keeps saying that he's struggling with like versus dark. I don't see it though. Benjamin, I don't see your struggle. I see you give over to the dark side very easily.
You see it like when his parents are actually
confronting.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to disarm a Gryffindor, like it's really, really easy. You just get their mom or dad there, and you get them to either guilt them or like, no, it's pretty much guilt them. Yeah, yeah.
When Luke shows up and he's like, hit him with every single gun we have. And he makes them shoot him for like 3 straight minutes. Hux is like, do you think we got him?
He's like so fixated on the spot. The veins in his fucking forehead are bulging out. And he's like, more, shoot him more. I fucking hate this guy. Shoot him more. so sassy with everything, but it's like so dry. Luke's like, he shows up and he's like, what are you here to tell me? You forgive me? What did he say that was so funny to Luke?
It was.
I'm sure you are.
Luke said something like, "I really regret how I handled that whole situation." And I was like, "I'm sure you are."
Yeah, I bet you're so mad. Too bad I'm gonna kill you.
I bet you're so sad, Uncle Luke. I bet you could have done it differently.
Well, this is the consequences of your actions.
You know what fucking kills me too? He wears that helmet because he wants to be like Darth Vader, right? So he's like, I'm gonna be really cool, have my whole helmet or whatever. So he's got the helmet, and then Snoke's like, you're such a baby wannabe in that helmet, you loser, you fucking loser. And he just wear the helmet the rest of the movie.
Yeah. No one's gonna call me tryhard.
He fucking has a tantrum and smashes it into the wall.
Yeah. And then he's like, this looks kind of metal, actually.
Yeah, and then the third movie, when he's killed Snoke, he gets it fixed. It's like, I'll wear a helmet if I want to. Yeah,
and then Hux is just thinking, like, how stupid he looks. And he's like, I detect that you feel weird about my appearance. Do you not think I look cool, General Hux? Do you want to say that to my fucking face? That you don't think I look cool right now? Because I'm going to fucking force choke you. Y'all need to not let any Gryffindors be Siths. It's really bad. Like, it's really bad. Ooh. Because, like, yeah, he is definitely powerful and scary, but also it's like,
Rachel,
dude.
He said I detect some unease about my appearance.
Yeah. What is it? You don't think I look cool right now? Come say it to my face. I don't look cool right now.
I can read your thoughts. I can read them.
I'm to believe that Hux was good enough at masking his thoughts. Shut up.
I think
stupid.
what we're supposed to believe is that Kylo did not care about him enough to be looking into his thoughts. Like, he just did not
Obviously, he does
him.
when it's about Kylo and how Kylo looks.
So he's got a little antenna when he hears Kylo's name.
Talking about my cloak? You talking about my cloak or my helmet? What's your problem? I got this cool red paint. I don't know what your problem is. And it looks really metal. And this is my band, the Knights of Ren. And we're hardcore shit. I hate you, Dad.
And then Dad shows up and says, throw your glow stick into the sea. And he's like, you're just a memory. You're not even real. And Han's like, I'm real to you. And he's like, okay.
That makes all the difference, Dad. I'm really sorry. Okay, I'll be good now. It only took the death of both of your parents, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they both did it strategically to bring him back. I mean, what else are parents supposed to fucking do? This kid wasn't listening.
Die for you. I gotta
this
die.
Kid would not listen.
I gotta
shit.
die.
He obviously, he definitely liked Leia more than Han, though, because like he hesitated.
He was a mommy's boy.
Yeah, he hesitated before he blew up her ship.
He didn't do it. He didn't do it. It was it was another ship. Remember?
Yeah, right. He didn't hesitate at all for Han.
Mm-mm.
I mean, he did. Arguably, he did.
He had a nice civil conversation with him, but I think he was gonna. I think the entire time he was gonna do it, but he did take a moment to like.
I think Han also gave him permission to do it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we already kind of talked about that. Like Han.
Yeah, so I know, but it's just like hard for me to. It's like really stupid writing. Like it's really bad. You shouldn't have done it, but Harrison Ford. That's Harrison Ford's fault.
He said, you got to kill Han Solo or I'm killing him.
Like I said, Kylo Ren's a hero. You can quote me.
Harrison Ford was like, I will go off a scaffold in this production and you will be unable to not film.
Yep. The other big Gryffindor thing about him is how he constantly roasts Rey for being an orphan. It is the only thing he has against her, and he constantly uses it to insult her. She's like, you murderous, traitorous, fucking piece of shit garbage. He's like, you remember how you don't have parents, dude? It like really bothers you, right? That you
got
don't have
him. And this lady's like, your parents were nothing. It's like,
and you're nothing, but not to me. Ooh, because I got that Riz. You know you like that girl. Fucking so stupid. And then at the end when he turns, he's like, Rey, you gotta believe me. I'm good now. Look, my parents are dead too. We matched. Oh my God, got him again. Like. But his immediate switch was super grave Gryffindor 2. He was no longer grappling with what he should do because he got that parental guilt pumped into him real good. And also Rey was like, I would have dated you, dude. I would have dated you had you been normal. Like, you were just doing
normal.
Too much. Yeah, and he's like,
She's like, I like it to an extent. This is
yeah. She's like, weirdly, she's like, inexplicably, the text tells me that I'm turned on by it. So I guess I am. But like, only if you're good. And so you might want to think about that. And he's like, shit, you're right. I fucked up. Hallucinates his father, telling him like, it's
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
It's all right. And then, whatever, he turns good and does the whole battle. And I guess knowingly sacrifices himself for her, which...
Yeah, I mean, he gives her his health, life force, basically. So,
which is also really Gryffindor. He's like, what do I have to live for anyway? Just fuck.
Well, I mean, you made a point of telling him earlier there was no way that he was coming back. So, like, kill yourself.
Yeah, basically.
Ended the Skywalkers, I guess.
And he goes out the way his parents do, which is very like his house and like his lineage. So, I mean,
for real, that's the end of the Skywalker.
That's it. That's
Unless
it.
Luke
Except for the Ravenclaw, who shoehorned her way in. She's like,
Luke
no, I will
could have a
continue the
secret
bloodline.
baby somewhere, I guess.
He could. I guess. Maybe, actually, no, Padme died. Never mind. I was going to say, people
she died giving birth.
People like to ship Obi-Wan and Padme a lot. Like,
yes.
Imagine if she lived and actually they are Rey's parents. Ooh. Obi-Wan said, I'm going to take your
then
bitch
her and Kylo would be related, so.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, well, I guess not through marriage.
It doesn't stop them.
Oh, they'd be related. Be related.
Anyway, that's our Star Wars analysis.
Yes.
Pew, pew.
Can't believe that took us only like an hour and 15 minutes.
The best line of that movie is Kylo's, more! Do you remember being in the theater watching these movies when he started like punching things, just like your eyebrows raised and you're like,
yes.
Okay.
Yes, because it's a toddler fucking throwing a tantrum.
Everyone collectively in the theater is like, dude, relax. You don't know what the dark side does to us. Like, y'all, you really need to keep it away from my people. You really do. Ooh. Imagine dark Padme. No, she wasn't a Jedi either.
Mm-mm.
What other Jedis could have gone? What other Gryffindor? Oh, Luke could have gone dark. That would have been funny as fuck. Because light Luke is hilarious. Dark Luke would have been so funny.
Around in his black boots and his black cloak.
I'm evil now. Oh man, someone should just animate that.
Hatred flow through me.
I'm the chosen one now, Daddy. God, Anakin, look what you left behind, you fucking dick. It's all your fault. It's literally all your fault.
He gave us Leia. Leia was perfect. Leia was a good model of Anakin.
Yeah, she also raised
Anakin
a fucking dickhead. So actually, no. All the Slytherins in this universe are shitty parents.
That was Luke's fault that you said earlier.
Sure.
Also,
Sure. It's all Luke's fault, sure. Oh my God, the family's a mess. We love mess here, so it was fun to watch and talk about, even despite the complaints. Next 2 weeks, next time, we're doing the greatest show that's ever been created of all
Rachel's
time.
Birthday.
We're finally talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Finally!
Did you see? I just saw this. Stranger Things, the last season, has been delayed to 2027.
That just means they have more time to think about how to bring Eddie back.
Okay. These kids are going to be like 35.
They're already mad old. Who cares? Do a time jump. I don't care. They're I can't even talk about the show.
Isn't it? It's written already. They just need to film it. So that's fucked.
Well, I don't really care if they're going to bring Eddie back. I'll wait. I will wait. Sorry, that was a sidestep into other Rachel news. But the biggest Rachel news is that the Buffy the Vampire Slayer is coming to you. And I'm so excited. That's not going to be an hour. That I can't just do an hour. Just on Buffy Summers alone, you'll get an hour out of me.
It's going to be a lot of Rachel. You're going to be hearing a lot of Rachel.
Shut up. You're watching it and loving it. You have so much shit to say.
No, I know. But like, I just mean like I spoke about Hook for like, I think like straight hours. So it's just going to be a lot of Rachel.
I just, I really, really love that show, like more than anything. And I'm just really excited to finally get to talk about it. And I know we have a lot of friends and mutuals and some listeners definitely love Buffy like I do. So
think they all started
I finally got
rewatching
Lauren
it
to
too.
do it. Hell yeah. And she's having fun with the absolute camp mess that it is. It's beautiful and imperfectly perfect and just great. It's fucking great. So you'll get to hear all about who we love, who we hate. Might surprise you. And might not. I don't know.
I don't want to be like strung up for who I hate.
By who?
I don't
fandom's
know.
long dead. Don't worry about it.
Apparently, you've shown me a lot of people on the
That TikTok
TikTok.
had 1,000 likes. Don't worry about it. I'll fight them barehanded. I don't even care. It's going to be one of those episodes where we just like sort everybody, and it's going to be crazy. And we're just going to like rapid fire through some of them.
Apparently,
And
she doesn't want to come back to it.
No, I don't. I don't want to come back to it. I don't. I feel like everything that we can say can be said best
All at
in
once.
that episode.
All right. After Rachel's birthday is Big Sky, the last of the Jensen Ackles content. How the strikes end. Woohoo!
Well, that being said, get excited for Buffy, because I am. I'm very excited. In fact, I might go watch some Buffy right now. So
You said you were going to last night.
I did watch some last night.
Oh,
with
did you? Okay. Oh, well, you were going to start over in season 4.
I have. Well, it's not a chore for me. I just really want to do it. So it's fine.
I know you do.
I'm so excited.
And now
love
you're
it.
free and clear. We have nothing else to watch before the Buffy episode.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wild. All right. Well, Hannah's going to cut all that because we said a lot of nothing.
No, it's not. It was all cold.
It is. It is. It is. Okay. So see you next time. Get ready. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Sort of Brilliant. If our sorting choices inspired any rage or excitement, we'd love to hear from you. We're open to feedback, suggestions for characters to sort, and solid counter-arguments with citations.
Never forget your citations. You can find us hanging out on Twitter and Instagram at SOB_pod or shoot us an email at sortofbrilliant@gmail.com.
And since we're not above begging, please rate and subscribe to Sort of Brilliant on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please share our posts on social media. And if you're a Gryffindor, maybe you'll inspire sorting fights among your own friend group.
The theme music is Hot Shot by Scott Holmes. Can't wait to sort with you again next time. Bye!